I wanted to take a moment and talk to you a little bit about why we're choosing to do Good Kids, Bad Kids now, and subsequently why I'm so passionate about this project specifically. I think a lot about business ethics specifically. I think a lot about marketing, and I am aware that this script is not as marketable as other ideas that have been brought to the table by Travis and myself, which brings me to, why is Good Kids, Bad Kids important to make now? Why didn't I just wait and save money over time and shoot it out of pocket? My dad, actually, who is also a business owner, asked me this question the other day. And there's a couple reasons for it. One is that it's a personal drive, which was that when we started promoting this from an angle of, we are going to make this, and we're going to make this movie right now, it was a project that I needed. I was falling back into a depression after moving to Seattle. I was working on all corporate projects, and I did not feel the same creative buzz that I was feeling. I was watching a relationship fall apart in front of my eyes, and I was reliving a lot of the same things that I had gone through with my divorce, which a lot of it was motivated through, among other things, the fact that he did not support me as a filmmaker and did not want me to continue on with filmmaking, but instead wanted me to stay at home and be a stay-at-home wife. And I basically told him, I'm going to be a filmmaker. This is what I was made to do. This is what is in my soul, and I cannot live without filmmaking. So on one hand, it was intensely personal. This project had been sitting on the table for a couple of months, and we were going to wait on it and wait on it and wait on it. But I was feeling a buzz in the air from a cultural and political standpoint, especially looking at it from a political rights aspect for homosexuals, looking at the type of characters that we have. Also looking at it, watching the bands that we know in the Seattle music scene, which is constantly struggling, watching them go through what they go through and be unappreciated and have no outlets and be told that the industry is dead and that record labels don't care about you anymore, and going on tour is something that you have to fund yourself all the time unless you do crowdfunding. Watching people that I know and care about do something from a completely artistic standpoint and then not have any outlets for it every weekend, and know that I had something sitting on the table that I could put their music in, put their merchandise in, that I could talk to bars about and venues about, that I could put into a national film circuit if we could just get the funding together and if we could just shoot it. I wanted to give back to the community that inspired us to write the script, the community that brought us together, the community that, when I first moved back to Seattle for the first time in almost 5 years, when I moved back to my hometown where I had a lot of baggage I was coming back to, when I was living homeless basically for a couple of months, and I was finishing up school, and this was a community that I found that took me in and gave me a creative outlet, and I found friendships. I wanted to give back to that community in the best way that I knew how, which is through this film. And I wanted to be able to allow that to happen in the most organic way possible. But it's been difficult to fundraise when everybody that you know is artists. And we've had people offering their music for free, which kind of negates a lot of the, like, I want to give you something for your music, since you don't get something for your music a lot of the time. So that's been kind of a difficult line to walk. But there's also other issues that are covered in this film that are covered in a very specific way. Like, we have shows like Breaking Bad that, as much as I enjoy them from an acting and directing standpoint, as much as I think that what they're doing for television is phenomenal, it bothers me, quite frankly. It bothers me to watch happy-go-lucky music be put over people making meth, because meth is a vile drug that destroys your brain. And I've seen that happen to people, and Travis has seen that happen to people much more than me. And knowing that culture is shifting in certain ways, and knowing the popularity of things, knowing bath salts are legal, spice is legal, shows like Weeds and Breaking Bad are promoting positive drug use, and it should technically not be promoted positively, it should be promoted neutrally so that people can make their own choices. Again, I think of ethics a lot. It just became a compulsion to put something out there with the hopes that people would latch onto it, with the hopes that people would see the way that race is depicted as if it was nothing, that people are hired on their merit and their skill set instead of the way that they look. The fact that drug use is depicted honestly, not as all bad, not as all good, but honestly. The way that homelessness is depicted, not necessarily as a lifestyle choice, although sometimes it is, but as a survival mechanism, and that situations like that can be complicated, that drug addiction can be complicated, as it is with characters like Ravy, that people might be able to recognize parts of themselves in these characters, whether from a homosexual standpoint, from a bisexual standpoint, from a female standpoint, where it's like, that is a strong female and she was still the love interest, and she's not blonde and she's not blue-eyed, and she says direct sentences like, take me with you, instead of, can I please go with you? She's not asking permission, she's strong. And I don't know the last time I saw that in a film. Back to the question of, why are we doing this now? Why, if there's so many important things in this film, why do it now? Why not just wait until we've established ourselves more in Seattle, have more connections? Why not wait till we can raise money a lot easier? Why not split up all of these issues across more films? But what it comes down to is that Travis and I would rather do one script on our artistic merit and say, this is the script we can stand on. That the first script that we did after moving back to Seattle hit all of these major issues that are important to us, that are cultural issues, that are things that we're not ashamed to look in the face and film and talk about and bring to your dinner table and do something about on film, so that every project moving forward we have this base, so that people know what we are about as a company and as filmmakers, and so that the quality of our work and the subject matter of our work shines through. Because you can have a movie that's about all kinds of good things, but if it looks like crap, it doesn't matter, nobody's gonna watch it. I talked a lot about a lot of things. I talk about a lot of things a lot of the time. Anyway, I'm pretty tired and I look like trash. So I hope that you got a better feel about why this is important and why this is important now. Because sometimes opportunities come up and sometimes you make your own. And I'm the type of person who makes my own. Because I'm not going to sit back and wait for somebody else to make a film about something I care about. Because I care enough to make my own. And I think there's enough people out there to jump on board with me.